Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of World of Warcraft Classic. Robert Rambles here and thanks so much for joining me today. Went ahead and I ground out this Totem of Affliction quest, and as you can see, if you compare where we're at experience wise to the last episode, we gained quite a bit of experience by doing that. So that's good. It took a while, but it was definitely worth it. I would advise anybody who comes into this zone and starts leveling here, make sure you grab this quest right away and just do it along with everything else that we had to do.
Need help?
Would have been a lot easier on us, but it's okay, I did it the hard way. Very wise of you. This Totem of Infliction will help to protect you against the evil which lurks throughout Azeroth and beyond. When you feel threatened, hold this totem and take comfort in its magical aura. Be brave, fair warrior. You will need all the courage you can muster, for I see much bloodshed in your future. Yeah, you definitely have the right of that, Madame Eva.
Go with honor, friend.
Definitely worth the 2550 experience. Gonna make sure I empty out my bags here. And the next thing we're going to do, I think, is actually jump a flight over to South Shore. Because we have a quest turn in there that looks like a breadcrumb, but it's red. But I'm pretty sure, even though that quest is red, South Shore content should be at our level. So I definitely need to get over there myself and check things out. And see if there's any more quests in South Shore for us to grab. So that, I think, is what we're about to do. As far as things we can still do related to Duskwood, we have to find the Moonbrook Schoolhouse. And then we still have the Doomed Fleet, which is over in the wetlands. It's still a yellow quest, but it's going to tie back in here with Morbent Fell. I'm not in a big rush, because I know Morbent Fell is like a level 35 elite, so we could stand a few more levels on us before we worry about that. As long as the quest doesn't go gray or anything, we should be fine.
Hey there.
This is going to be a long flight,
Safe
so
travels.
obviously we're going to use some editing magic. However, here we go. I have a letter that we actually translated from Abercrombie, and even though we translated and completed the quest, we didn't actually read the letter, so I wanted to do that. And again, this is from Abercrombie to the mayor of Darkshire, the one that I thought was going to have the equivalent of, you know, fantasy anthrax, and it was going to turn him into a ghoul or something. I thought it was going to be a very direct, but it wasn't. It was an actual letter, and this is what it said. Greetings, Elo Ebenlock, Mayor of Darkshire. I'm afraid I have news for your town. Grave news. You see, I am a creator. I fooled the bearer of this note into aiding me in my latest, most dire creation. A fiend of flesh and bone and twisted metal. As you read this, it's likely outside my humble dwelling, gnashing its teeth and waiting for my word to go forth and slaughter. But you'll know soon enough. The Embalmer. And so Abercrombie is the Embalmer, and he apparently created stitches, at least the stitches that we see in Duskwood running loose and attacking the town at regular intervals. And I had noticed him spawning by Abercrombie's shack as I was waiting to fight the elite mob, the wife that we had to fight for the heart. So it was almost like a spoiler. In a way, the high respawn rate of stitches right there at that spot was kind of a spoiler to the story. But you know, it's classic. That's okay. Figured it out. Alright, on to South Shore we go. Alright, so here we are in South Shore. I've arrived back at the keyboard, coffee in hand, and we've landed. And it looks like a beautiful morning here, so let's see if there's anything we could do. We have our turn in here for the breadcrumb. And again, this is the one that is red. And let's just give this one a quick read to remind ourselves. If you don't mind a long journey, then I have a task for you to again help Stormwind fill its library. The old kingdom of Alterac fell after the Great War, and it had a large collection of books. It's a tragedy that the city is ruined, but even more tragic is all of their knowledge lost. We must recover what we can. Okay, so maybe because it goes into the ruins of Alterac? Is that why it's red? Let's find out.
Greetings.
Lore Master Dibs. Ah yes, I remember Milton. A bookworm, no doubt. Bless him. And he's right. The ruins of Alterac still hold stores of knowledge in danger of being lost. Ogres now dwell in Alterac, and they don't care much for higher learning. Preserving knowledge. Now if this goes into Alterac, it's definitely going to be red. But let's see what it is. Those beastly ogres now reside within Alterac's ruins, and I shudder to think what they're doing with the precious books still there. You must recover what you can. Enter the ruins of Alterac and search for tomes looted by the ogres. Get whatever you can and bring them to me, but also seek out one book in particular, the Arm of Grelek. It contains ancient troll lore that I must learn, and the ruins of Alterac was the last known location of an intact copy of this book. That sounds incredibly cool, and like we can learn quite a bit of lore from that quest chain, but I have a feeling... Oh wow, it's not only red, it's an elite quest. We're definitely going to have to do that. That looks really cool. But obviously, it's not going to be something we do right now. There's a gray quest, which means that we aren't at level with it yet. Let's just have a look around town.
What can I do
And
for
see
you?
if we find any other quest givers. Because we know that they like to hide them away. Here's one right here. Oh, two I spy. Okay.
Can I help you?
We have Lieutenant Farron Orinel drinking here at the bar. Down the coast. Transferred from Stormwind City Guard to Southshore, a town that should be abandoned by the looks of it. Smell of the harbor day and night. Not to mention Old Redpath. Wants me to take care of the Murlocs. Ha! I could barely rouse myself to go out to some of the pockets of the overgrown fish down the western strand. If you would go in my place and take care of them, I'd appreciate it. Alright, person I just ran into at the pub. Kill tide hunters, oracles. Got it. Okay, and these are down by the western strand.
See you later.
Let's check out what level that is. Oh, see, this is at level with us. Okay, so Murlocs. Maybe over this way? Along the coast to the west of South Shore? Would be a good place to start looking for them. And I think the cook or somebody back here had a quest.
Hey there.
Chef Jessen. Soothing Turtle Bisque. I think we're going to kill some turtles. If there's one thing you'll learn about South Shore, it's that we have some of the best cuisine north of Stormwind. Take my secret recipe for turtle bisque, for example. I've known folks to travel from as far as Darkshire just to enjoy a bowl. Speaking of which, I haven't been able to make any lately. I used to head up past Dalaran to Lake Lordomere myself to hunt snapjaws, but it's just too dangerous now. If you bring me some turtle meat from the snapjaws up north and soothing spices, I'll whip some up. Fair enough, it's a cooking quest, but it's a nice kill quest and we'll get some good experience from it, I bet. And I think if it's similar to the Horde turtle quest, I think I know where those turtles are at, actually. I think they're along the river that just divides us from Arathi. Pretty sure they're north along that river. Anybody else hiding up here?
Hello.
Hey there.
A lot of suspicious people that I feel like might have quests for us at some point. But they don't right now. Let's head back outside. What level are you? Level 32, so quite a little bit higher level than us. Which would explain quests like Martial Red Paths here that we can't even take yet. Let's go in here and see what's in the town hall.
How are you? Greetings.
Aha! Town hall is always a good place to go if you're an adventurer looking for work.
What can I do for you?
Syndicate Assassins. I am the new magistrate of South Shore, recently assigned after the assassination of the previous magistrate. The assassins were never found, but through our investigations, we're almost certain they were hired by the Syndicate, a group of thieves led by villainous nobles of the now fallen kingdom of Alterac. The Syndicate has a camp north of the Horde-occupied Terran Mill, and our last clues led to that camp. Slay the Syndicate members you find there. Okay, yeah, we could probably do that. That's a nice waist upgrade for us, definitely. Crusader belt. Rockin', okay. But let's see. Oh, you see, this one is red, and this actually takes us into the Alterac Mountains. So if we look to the north of this map, we see Alterac, and in the very middle of the map, there's that arrow-shaped mountain range. That's where they're going to be at, I believe. So I'm just kind of getting the idea that we do want to be maybe level 30 or 31 to be here, even though some of these quests we're going to be able to do now. Like maybe we could go do the Murlocs. And then I think what we're going to have to do eventually is head over to Menethil Harbor and follow up on that chain and see if that takes us back to Duskwood for anything prior to fighting Morbent Fell. Could be a couple more quests there, but I think I am going to go out and look for these Murlocs. Just to get a little taste of what South Shore and Hillsbred Foothills have to offer us. I think we checked in all the buildings. You know, we might have forgot this middle one here, but I think we would have seen a quest giver. Yeah, that's just the butcher's place. Okay, well, we'll have time to look around. But I do think we checked everywhere. I don't see anybody on the docks with a quest. But let's head to some likely coastline where we may find some Murlocs. Oh look, I see some suspicious neon and fluorescent fins. Ooh, you're level 32. We hit him. Let's try this. Still kind of getting our ass kicked. Oh no, why are you spawning right in front of me? That's like my panic singing. Some people have a fight or flight reflex. I have a fight, flight, or sing at it reflex. I don't know why that guy spawned there really, but it's kind of scary. Let's get a good look at this guy. He's an ugly sucker. Oh, nice. Oh, yes! Thank you, NPC guard, who just, for some reason, pathed just close enough to aggro, level 55. Now, if we could handle them all that way, that would be quite something. Because this does seem like it's going to be a little bit tough on us. Level 32, I think the perfect level to come back here might be level 32. I don't think we can rely on South Shore Guard Lady to take them all on for us. And even the turtles are going to be much higher level than us, it seems. So let's go to Menethil Harbor in the wetlands and speak to Glorin Steelbro. We're looking for something on a ship. The metal is precious to us. Items crafted from it strike with holy truth. If you need to face Morbent Fell, then you will need such a weapon. So we're looking for a metal to make a weapon to face down Morbent Fell. And we can find this metal in a wreck in the ocean, apparently.
Well met.
We are not too far from there, so let's go check it out. Next stop on the Eastern Kingdoms tour is Menethil Harbor.
Great to meet you.
Well, he was easy to find.
You got my attention.
Lightforged iron is a precious metal, but it sounds like your quest is a dire one. You've come a long way, brother. With luck, you might just find what you seek. And if you do get the iron, I know who could fashion it into a weapon against this necromancer you speak of in Duskwood. The shipwrecks off the shore here are the doomed Third Fleet of Kul Tiras, burned and sunk by the Red Dragons during the last Great War. The fleet hailed from Lordaeron, but one ship, an elvish destroyer flying Osprey, was with it. It was shipping a load of Lightforged iron and joined the Third Fleet for protection. Ironic that it sunk to the same dragons. Enough history. The Flying Osprey is wrecked to the south of Menethil Harbor. If you find the Lightforged iron there, bring it to me. This is really cool. I love hearing about things like Kul Tiras. Anything that ties into current lore in any way. I love hearing how they mention it and how they use that lore about places like Lordaeron and Kul Tiras in Classic.
Off with you.
Alright. So I'm thinking that it's probably going to be somewhere not too far. Let's check out its level. Where are we at here? Oh, it's still tracking it under Duskwood. South of Menethil Harbor. Which I guess would just be out this way, right? It can't be that easy, and yet it seems like it may be. Well, we do have more Murlocs. These ones are actually at our level, so that's good. Can it be this easy that this is the Night Elf ship we're talking about? I mean, it seems to be the case, but... Oh, he's a big one. You might notice I did change around my keybinds a little bit. I'm trying to get it, you know, in the order that I most use the abilities and correlate that with the easiest buttons for me to press. Usually I pick a button and I leave it in a hotkey arbitrarily and I don't ever really think about it again, but I'm trying to train my brain to be a little bit more efficient. Like, look at that, we just hit our hamstring for the first time ever because that's keybound now. He's still getting away. So yeah, trying to get a little bit better about making space on my hotbar for things like hamstring, because we do need to use those. They are tools, and we've gotten killed a couple of times from mobs running away. It was really that easy, it turns out. This chest is waterlogged, and its siding broken. Many claw marks mar both the inside and outside of the chest, as if Murlocs have searched through it and stolen its treasure. But tucked deep within the chest is a single light-forged ignet. Unfortunately, many more will be needed if enough metal to fashion a weapon is to be gained. And see, like when I think of Lightforged, I would only have thought about it in the modern day text, like Lightforged Draenei, Lightforged Undead, and then to hear about this Lightforged Iron all the way back in Classic, it's just really cool to me. Having grabbed the single Lightforged Ignet from the waterlogged chest, it is clear that the Murlocs have stolen the rest. Hunt the Murloc raiders near the Flying Osprey wreckage. for the lost Lightforge iron. So we need 5 more. It wasn't in fact that easy. The chest had a quest. That's right. Let's go ahead and track that, and maybe we'll be able to make short work of these guys. Almost didn't notice that we were being attacked by the guy up here, who has now netted us. That was a very clever move of him. Very nice. Do we need this potion? Yeah. They've netted me. That's no good. This is getting a little bit dicier than I would have wanted, unfortunately. Missing that guy early on, not realizing he was hitting us, nearly cost me a run there, but we got it. And then I look, and in my periphery there are arrows coming in. Spears, I guess they were spears, right? Alright, well, do any of you guys have any iron? I see you down there. And I want to be at full health. I also see you over here. We gotta loot this body, so... Seeing now that they're level 29 makes me glad that we waited this long to come here, I'll say that. We know he's gonna run, so we might as well back him up a little bit. Wow. Oh, I thought he was running. I was like, geez. Okay, so these guys are downright annoying. Yeah. That's really all we could say about Murlocs, right? Is that they're just damn annoying. Looks like we're getting about the same respawn rate here as everywhere else. Which is sometimes a little bit too high for a solo adventure if you are farming at level mobs. Like, we can get ourselves into a lot of trouble now that we don't have retaliation up. Tried to lay that on him early, and that seems to have paid off, so I'll try to remember to work that in before they run, as opposed to, you know, having it be a last-ditch effort thing that only sometimes pays off. Oh, that's such a dirty move. I love it. Whoops. Wrong button. The only time I'll ever make a mistake, I'm sure of it. Positive of it. Let's see. Yeah, I see you down there. Do I want to charge in? Not really, honestly. I'd rather, like, keep my feet dry, but I guess we're going in. Here we go. I don't know that we'll be able to kill him before we run out of breath, though, so... Let's be smart about this and pull him to the surface. See, that's not bad. When we are strong enough and we can down them in that last white swing, then them running isn't so bad. We need only one more. This has been an exceptional drop rate, if I do say so. I have one targeted. Somewhere. Here we go, over this way. And I see the one back there, so let's pull him out. Get some rage for hamstring and get this guy now. Very nice. Totally worth it. And we have all of our ignits now. Very good. And I guess we're taking them just right back over here to our new dwarf friend. And then I'm kind of wondering if that's going to take us back to Duskwood or if it's going to give us more to do here. And you guys could tell me if I've been foolish for not questing here at all. I really thought we'd be able to split South Shore and Duskwood up a little bit more, but South Shore does seem to be a higher level.
Can I help you?
By quite a little bit. No, I don't want to take all of your awesome quests. It's just reflex.
Hi.
Ah, you found them. Now let's get this Lightforged iron hammered into something useful, eh? There is a dwarven weaponsmith in the dwarven district of Stormwind who can craft with Lightforged iron. His name is Grimond Elmore. I've packed the iron you found into a crate. Take it to Grimond and tell him your tale. I'm sure he'll oblige someone on a quest such as yours, and craft for you a weapon to give even Morbent Fell worry. Okay, so we're just going to Stormwind
Watch your back.
to get that weapon made. I wonder if it's going to be an actual weapon that I get to use, or is it just going to be a quest item that makes him more attackable, breaks through a barrier of some kind. I'm betting on option B. But let's go ahead and continue our tour of the Eastern Kingdoms with a stop down in Stormwind.
See you around.
What can I do for you?
That is quite a tale you have. And Lightforged iron, not for years have I worked with such a metal. It will be an honor to craft with it again. And you must return to me later with the story of your battle against the Necromancer. But we get ahead of ourselves. First, your weapon. Here is the weapon against the fiend of which you spoke. You're all ready. Best of luck to you, and I look forward to your tale of glory. So now we're taking this back to Sven, who no doubt, is seeking revenge still. This is held in offhand, removes the protective enchantments around Morbent Fell. I don't know if that means we're actually going to have to put it in our offhand. We could then just switch it out for our shield after the fact. So that is entirely possible. Well, I say we go ahead and take this to Sven and see what his game plan is going to be. Armed and ready. This one is still yellow, so I don't think that we'll be fighting Morbent Fell yet. But Sven might have some other stuff he needs us to do, so let's go ahead and head back to Darkshire and we'll check that out. And the tour is complete as we now are back in Duskwood. And I actually have a question for you guys that I will then explain my thought process behind. And the question is, what would you think of a playthrough of Battle for Azeroth that is similar to how we've been playing Classic? And my thought process behind this is, I've never leveled this way before, where I've focused on reading every single quest, where I've been engaged with and following the plot at my character level and really getting involved with the things that are going on in the world. my experience has always been just to level as quickly as possible because all the good stuff, air quotes, is at endgame, which isn't always the case and is hardly ever the case with good RPGs. The whole game is either typically good or bad, you like it or dislike it as a whole. But with WoW, I think that the way you approach the game has a lot to do with what you get out of it. Now, there are things about Battle for Azeroth that aren't going to change no matter how you play them, and a lot of those are mechanical, design decisions, class design, things like that. But the lore has always been incredibly important to me, and now typically I learn about the lore where most people learn about WoW lore, which is from Noble's channel. So, you know, while I know a lot about it, and I know a lot about what's been going on at a high level in BFA, I have never given it that really deep experience of reading every quest and really having our boots firmly planted on the ground the way we've done with this playthrough. So just some thoughts. I was looking at my level 110 mage with his level 1 Heart of Azeroth, who's just been sitting there since I decided not to play him way back at BFA launch. It was one of the characters that I was potentially going to play. Went with the Hunter instead. Power leveled that. Our guild did some raiding early on in BFA. People decided that for whatever their personal reasons, they didn't want to stick around, so that ended pretty quickly into the expansion. And after that, it was pretty easy to just not be invested in it. Raiding was really all I was playing for at the time. And this was before YouTube, Robert Rambles. All I played for was the raiding. We'd get on our 2 nights a week and we'd raid. It was kind of like a bowling league. Almost. Because the rest of the game at that point, if you weren't doing that, you were grinding your world quest. And things like that. So while I'm not interested in doing like an AP grind, I'm not interested in really a lot of the world quest content right now, but I'd be curious as to what you guys think of a questing playthrough like what we've done here. So in taking a different route to Sven's house, I came across this coffin here, which is just absolutely awesome. No idea who this is supposed to be, but I just thought that was really cool. We're pretty close. Let's go ahead and run the rest of the way. This is going to be the episode where we fight nothing. I think we fought one Murloc, and even that one was finished off by a town guard. Not that the fighting is the most exciting part. Or anything. Oh, we're almost about to run into a gray spider if we're not careful. Not really the fight we want. Now someone gave me a comment that wasn't spoilery, but it was to check something out north of this graveyard. An unmarked wooden grave marker.
Light be with you.
And I'm going to check that out after we turn this into Sven and see if I can find anything up there. You haven't been gone that long, but I see a fire in your eyes I did not see before. We've been gone for a while, Sven. I don't know. Ah, this will be proof against the fiend Morbent fell. Well done. You are ready. Morbent fell will fall. Morbent fell hides in his lair, the house perched atop the hill to the east, overlooking the Raven Hill Cemetery. His time in this land is drawing to an end. Use Morbent's bane against him. It will render his protective magics powerless. Slay him, and save us from his wickedness. Be the instrument of my revenge, and the hero of Duskwood. All that sounds great. That's a lot of armor on that mail helmet. We'd be going from leather to mail, so I think that's what we would go with. And it looks pretty darn cool too. It's a mail coif. Awesome.
Go with honor, friend.
It's nice when you get chainmail that actually looks a little bit like chainmail. Now, the house north of the cemetery. Okay, so I got a tip about this that said, search behind the house north of the graveyard, and I guess the house was Morbent Fell's house. And there's this weathered grave marker. See, I love tips like that because it's not a spoiler. It's just, hey, there might be something interesting here. I'm gonna click on this. The weathered grave markers reads simply Morgan Lattimore. Upon further examination, you notice that dirt over the grave has been recently disturbed, and that a good amount of dirt seems to have been displaced. Speak with Sierra Von Indy in Darkshire. Yeah, okay. Like, how would... That's the great thing, is like, unless you knew about this or happened to come across it, you would never get whatever this quest is. And it actually sounds interesting. We're definitely going to do that, so thank you so much for the comment. That's great. That's just the kind of stuff that I want to know about. Without spoiling, like, what it's about. Just that that's where the chain starts. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So we'll check that out. Okay, it looks like he's by himself. We're gonna have to have this item actually equipped. Which is gonna suck for a second. I don't really know. Can't do that while fleeing. I'm not fleeing. Okay, he cast something on us to put us asleep. Okay. Did he get him with the item? God, okay, it looks like he got him with the item. Let's put our shield back on. That would be, like, super swell. Okay, it's this presence of death he keeps doing to us. Okay, yep, let's shield bash that. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get him. We got a potion, so... Right now it's about dealing damage. Well, we survived Morbent Fell. It wasn't the group I wanted. I really wanted to have a full-size group, but we just weren't finding the people. And then we had some confusion over if the item had to be equipped, which it did have to be equipped to be used. Which obviously is not good for me. Okay. Either way, it was pretty sloppy, but it's done now. Hooray, we get to go turn it all in.
Well met.
Hopefully this will bring Sven some peace. Morbent Fell is defeated. Morbent Fell has been defeated. The Dark Riders are still at large, but a small piece of that which I had hoped beyond hope has come to pass. You have done the impossible, and your deeds will forever live in the legends of Duskwood. Go forth, and perhaps, one day, fate may bring you back to me. That would be weird, but it's not out of the question, I guess. Let's grab our helm upgrade.
For the Alliance.
And rejoice. And actually, I might turn the show on for this one. For a little while at least. Because it actually looks pretty cool, and it actually looks like a piece of mail armor. So I really dig it. Alright, so that's what we have for Morbent Fell. When we come back, we will check out this Weathered Grave quest, at least the turn-in back in Darkshire. I don't think we're going to be at level to do the follow-up, but we will definitely check that out. And then we'll have to decide what we do next. So, as always, any suggestions, criticisms, witticisms, comments below, please. And anything else you guys might have in mind. Let me know if you have thoughts on where we should quest next. If not South Shore, then where could we go to get some high level quest? Interested to hear what you guys think. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Take care and wish me luck.